Pirates of the Mesozoic, starring Craig Smith, Tunnel Von Griffin, Karen Torres, Leslie, who's humoring me, Roy Montgomery, me, the GM, Brandon Blackmore, whose skill at time management is only rivaled by his technical expertise. So, last week, anything of major importance happen? You've been working on your various things.
We found a stolen deck of many things.
Yeah, we found the stolen stuff and turned the dude over to get probably executed, but that was his doing.
Yep.
So you're all as just getting the temperature of the room. Everybody's cool with this guy. This guy's gonna be executed. Everybody's cool with that?
You do the crime, you do the time.
I'm not cool with it, but there's no way we're going to stop it.
He stole a treasured item of the commander of the area's
wizard.
And, it's you steal from a high government official, they put you to death.
Oh,
have you not been to South?
If that's their culture, I don't know what we can do about that.
Have you not been to Asia? This is the way it works. Never smuggle in and out of Singapore.
You don't do the crime unless you're willing to do the death?
The time, the death, whatever, yeah. Anybody who wants to steal a deck of many things is stupid anyway. My opinion.
Well, yeah, but we knew that from when we met him back in the blacksmith shop.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, we brought him in alive. That was actually being nice, considering what was going on. We could have just shot him dead right there.
Well, his friend did die, didn't he?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, the other guy. Well, Kieran's character killed him.
Yeah, Dr. Anna showed her lethal streak.
Dr. Anna impaled him a foot off the ground to a tree with her bow. Because she rolled really well. Well, it's a shame, too. I wanted him to be recurring.
I feel just for the bow, then, yeah.
The bow works fine.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
right then. So, you're hanging out in Wangguo. Are you going to stay for the trial? There is a trial. They're extremely formal about these things. There will be a trial. There will be the whole reading of the formal list of grievances. Starting to sound like Festivus. But there will be a formal listing of his crimes, and then the general. You kind of absorb this through osmosis, but after the accusations, they don't actually even call it the accusations. It's pretty much they just know he's guilty already. So
yeah, it's pretty clear.
They read a list of.
They found the stolen item on his person.
Well, there's that. Yeah. So they read a list of the crimes, and then General Hu will be the one who actually gives him his sentence. Anybody here have? What would it be? I guess culture would be the thing, or history if you were into ancient history. If you have history as a science. Let's see, skills.
I only have American history.
Yeah.
I think I am supposed to put that into my science, yeah, because I'm a.
Oh, actually, history's under culture too. I'm sorry.
I have both culture and science as expertises.
Well, there's a good chance that Dr. Anna might know this. Dr. Anna know much about it's not particularly deep knowledge. I mean, even like a surface knowledge of ancient China would give it to you. So, does she have that?
Surface. I'm assuming she has a surface knowledge of most of the of most cultures, and then and their histories, and then I honestly haven't decided which one she was going to go in depth on.
Okay.
But she would.
China. Huh? It was as a free man, but you might pick it up also.
Well, during the Zhou dynasty of ancient China, and we're talking like 500 BC, there were what they called the 5 punishments. It's like they're really big into numbering things. The 5 punishments, and they are getting tattooed on the face, having your nose cut off, no anesthetic, just whack, cut off your nose. Um, Cutting off left or right foot or both. Uh, Having your, and these are all men. These don't apply to women. Women have different, slightly less barbaric punishments. But since we're talking about a guy, I'm giving you the things that the 5 punishments would apply to this guy. Um, Having all of his external genitalia cut off, all of it, smooth as a whistle, and then death, and then methods of execution were quartering, cutting the body into 4 pieces, being boiled alive, tearing off the offender's head by attaching it to a horse and chariot. Let's see, strangulation and slow slicing.
Ooh, that's a bad one.
That sounds awful. That sounds horrible. So anyway, so those are the 5 punishments: the tattoo, nose cut off, feet cut off, emasculation, and execution. So even if they let him off easy, chances are he's going to be a bad way. So anyway,
I have no real overwhelming desire to watch any of this, including the trial. So I figure I at least can head out and go back and do things at Tranquility.
Yeah, if we're done, I'm gone.
I'm gone too. Yeah.
I can just picture you guys like hanging out, having some tea, having because they have great baths in Wangguo, which is something that's a little lacking in Tranquility. So you come back from your excursions, they treat you to bath and a meal and some tea, and Dr. Anna's like, oh, by the way, and she tells you about the 5 punishments of ancient China, and everybody just kind of looks around and says, so back to Tranquility then.
Wouldn't mind getting the news report so that we know to watch out for him if they only chop off his nose or his feet or something. I imagine he'd be pretty pissed at us.
Well,
They
and
cut
word gets-
off
hey,
his
word-
feet, he's not going to be able to come anywhere near us.
Yeah,
when word gets that
Um,
strong Tranquility, maybe it'll be a good forgot the word. Deterrent. Don't steal from these guys.
yeah, but also he's got. Considering he saw what we did, I don't think he's gonna be much of an issue for us in particular.
You never know what people are capable of when they plan ahead.
Yes, very true.
Always, whenever possible, make sure the execution of your foe goes without a hitch.
I'll take your word on that.
Or you could just set up an elaborate death trap and just assume it'll work out okay. I'm sure it'll be fine. Just strap him to a big surfboard and put him on the conveyor belt and then leave. It'll be fine. All right, well, there was a reward for going and finding Moshushi's deck of cards, and some bureaucrat of some kind eventually shows up to whatever place they've put you up in, and delivers it to, let's see who that would be, probably John Erlang. Probably
Okay.
the one they'd approach. It says, Master Erlang, we have your reward for the return of the property of Moshushi. And he doesn't just say Moshushi. He says like the whole guy's long and elaborate title, and then Moshushi. But I'm not going to do that every time because it's tedious. So anyway, and he says, and here you go. And it's like a carved wooden box about yay big.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll thank the guy.
And he asks you to sign this piece of paper
Oh, okay.
saying you received it. And then he rolls that up, and he stamps it with a seal, and he puts it in a pocket, and he bows, and he leaves.
Okay. So what's in the card?
Coins. Silver
Oh, okay.
coins. It's a box of Chinese silver coins.
This is something that could come in handy in a place unlike Tranquility where everything is trade.
Yes, help us get started on our trade.
For future traveling expenses.
Okay.
I was thinking it could come in handy for the engineering principles that are inherent in silver.
It's true.
Ooh.
You're a great conductor of electricity.
Yes.
Anyway, if anybody needs any money, let me know, and you can have some.
Well, we all have the gold that we found from Edgelords.
Mm-hmm.
Well, as I said, the money could be useful if we travel,
Yep.
and we end up going someplace where they do require some kind
Yes,
of cash.
I believe John Erlang said something about a ship's harbor across the ocean.
Yeah.
I strongly suspect that's where the pirates are coming from. Yeah.
I figure if we go there, we're going to want plenty of money in order to buy a cargo to trade off somewhere else.
Yeah.
All right.
That's how you make money on the water. Fishing and hauling.
It's like a traveler game. just much lower tech. Sorry, anybody who hasn't played Travelers like
I played Traveler.
Oh yeah.
okay, then you don't need me to explain it then.
You end
I
up
have the
you
original
end up
Black Books.
spending at least a whole game period creating your character,
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
and you
well,
could
I
die
bought them-
creating your character.
I bought them in all places at a JCPenney when I was, I don't know, actually, I didn't buy them. My parents did when I was probably, I don't know, 8 or 9.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah, the original 3-book set in the little box. Oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
once upon a
Wow.
time.
I just remembered you could die while creating your character.
Yes, this is true. You can
Yeah.
be very old also.
After playing that, I ended up getting into Trade Wars on the BBSs.
I used to play
Yeah.
that too.
I did too.
Trade
Dude,
Wars.
I
Wow.
I was a master of Trade War 2020.
I was not,
In Trade War,
but I played it anyway.
we had a Trade War team that was absolutely unbeatable. Like everybody kept accusing us of cheating, and one of the guys on the team, his response was, "No, absolutely, and it is freely available software. Absolutely, anyone can take a bit editor and decompress that thing and get themselves a map of the universe." That's what I did.
Oh no, you didn't.
That's funny.
So we started the game with a map of the universe
Yeah, that's
and already had our trade routes planned out. We knew where our good triangles were.
That's pretty bad. All right then.
Yeah.
So
You
we're
guys
heading
have been out in the jungle for like days. Like what is like 4 days total when you come back. So I would imagine that, and it's going to be at least a couple of days before, because they've got to arrange things, they've got to do the catering. So there's going to be a couple of days before the trial of. Actually, I know the guy's name. Jacob. It's going to be a couple of days before Jacob's trial. So you have a couple of days. So you can spend the night safely. It's not a big deal.
Get
And-
one of those nice baths.
Yeah, get the nice bath and so on and so forth. The next day, you are approached by a guy. Oh, I gotta find my pointer. Oh, there it is. I've lost my cursor. Moshushi comes and pays you a visit, and that's the sorcerer. I'll show you his picture.
Yeah, he's the one with the opium pipe, right?
It's not opium. They don't have opium yet. I don't think.
They definitely don't have it here. We're not in Kansas anymore.
No, this fella. There you go. Hey, and my sharing previews are working again. Last week they were broken. Anyway, he comes and visits you, and he's got a guy with him. Oh, he's got a guy with him. This guy with him's kind of fun. Man, I still sound really loud to myself. Let me adjust my volume again. Do I sound loud to you?
Thought.
What?
The picture. That's why I guess somebody thought he had an opium.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
it's a pipe, but it's not an opium pipe.
Sure looks like a Chinese.
How is it? Okay, I'm setting it to 50, and I'm saying 50. And I say, okay. Why does it keep going back up? I don't understand.
I think
Because you can't keep a good setting down.
What?
I said because you can't keep a good setting down.
Oh, you're funny. Okay, still at 50. All right, weird. Because I set it to 50 and it went back up to 76. I'm like, why am I so loud? Anyway, so this guy. And then, who else? He has like a helper with him. Oh, here we go. Yeah, and his helper is a pretty wacky fella. There he is.
Yeah, I would say that's a wacky fellow.
He's a court jester.
So anyway, the person who actually knocks is the helper, his assistant. And whoever opens the door, he will say, I'm here to present his august presence, the master of all that which is known and unknown, the wise, sagacious, brave, and thoroughly insightful Moshushi. And he bows and gestures to this guy who's like just standing right there next to him.
Brave. Okay. Anyway.
Say hello and invite them in.
Okay.
We'll leave the people who can speak Chinese to deal with them, of course.
Oh yeah, the people who don't speak Chinese have no idea what the guy just said. So anyway, Moshi comes in, turns to John Erlang and says, I wanted to thank you for the return of my property.
Okay, you are most welcome.
Of course, I would have gone after it myself, but I could not leave Guangguo undefended from the many supernatural threats which are encircling at all times and threatening to destroy all these wonderful innocent people here.
I fully understand your responsibilities.
I'm glad that you do. Which makes me wonder, who is defending your barbarian town when you were not there?
Oh, they have their own people that defend it.
Oh, the fire weapons.
Yes.
You know, I'd very much like to study one of those. Do you have any here with you?
I know one or two of us may have been carrying one.
Well,
I'm pretty
I would
sure,
consider it a
but
great personal favor if I could examine one of those. I would return it to you before you leave.
you're the only one. You're one of the ones that understands him. You're the one that has to answer him.
Well, I don't think Megatron wants to go with you. He's happy with his brothers.
Okay. I'll check with it. Yeah, I'll check with everybody else and see if they want to turn over a weapon to this guy long enough for him to inspect it.
I don't see it doing any harm, and I was just waiting.
No, I'm not. I'm keeping mine on my ankle.
Okay.
I don't really need. I'd rather, honestly, I'm finding myself more comfortable with the bow than the gun, anyways.
Exactly.
Handgun.
I was thinking it would be most wise to show him a disassembled bullet.
Well, actually, Brandon, what I'm going to do is, if Kieran's got hers and I've got my pistol, they're both about the same. I'll just unload the Beretta that I'm carrying and show it to the wizard and give him a basic explanation of how it works. You know, how the cartridges work, and do not give him any ammunition.
He's very attentive. But after you're done and you don't give him any ammunition, he says, well, of course, this would be much more interesting if you included some of the small inserted objects. Because as I understand...
Explain to him that each round of ammunition is essentially irreplaceable, because we can't manufacture any new ammunition of this type. Now, the stuff they're using in Tranquility uses a different type of gunpowder, so we may be able to get him one of those and let him look at one of those. But to the best of my knowledge, nobody around here is going to be manufacturing nitrocellulose anytime soon, so I don't want to waste any ammo that's in for this gun.
Mm-hmm.
How about Jacob's gun or the other guy's gun?
That's right. Yeah, if Jacob if either of those guys had a pistol, then I'd certainly be willing to show him how those work.
Well,
make black powder.
I'm assuming. Maybe I should have spelled this out. And this is GM talking. I'm assuming that when you turned Jacob over, and you basically took the guns from the dead guy and Jacob before you turned Jacob over. So I was assuming you had those.
Oh, okay. In which case, I will pull one of those out and show them how that one works. Because A, it's a lot simpler than a Model 92 Beretta, and B, it uses black powder.
And yeah, we have plenty of ammunition because I can make it.
Okay, so that's the one you actually show him then. All right.
Yes.
And the inserted objects, the rounds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll show him with the ammunition. Just if there's someplace I can demonstrate, just take him out and fire a couple of shots off.
His helper, he says, you. He gets a pot like up from sitting along the road, just like little pots that they throw garbage in. He'll pick one up and he'll hand it to him and he'll say, Hong, go take about 20 steps that way and hold it on top of your head like this. And Hong smiles and he takes it and he runs down the road and he holds it up like this.
Just have him put it down.
Why don't you let me demonstrate since I'm a sharpshooter?
Yeah, really. For me?
You know, or the good doctor here.
One of us a sharpshooter, so if you're going to insist on somebody holding a, yeah, no.
Not to mention that long range weapon is my expertise. So,
is there like a other wall? Is there any place we could put it up on something instead?
Yeah, like preferably against a wall.
Oh, because he's only understanding about half of what you guys. No, actually, you're talking English to each other, so he doesn't understand anything of what you're saying.
I have.
But he's watching your body language, and clearly you're having a problem with this. And somebody says wall and like points over to wall, and he's like, ah, of course, idiot, not there, over there by the wall. And he's like, oh, okay, and he runs over to the wall and he stands up against the wall and puts it on top of his head. And Moshishi gets the pistol and rifle.
I mime taking it from the head and putting it onto the wall. On the wall.
Yeah, I'll explain it to him.
Yeah, one of us will.
Yeah, enough of us have linguists.
Okay.
We have almost as many linguists as we have sharpshooters, I think.
And some of us do double duty.
Because he's not holding it still enough.
More that we just don't want anybody accidentally missing and hitting him instead.
Yeah, don't worry about him. He's a dog.
I don't shoot dogs either, just for sport. For meat, yes, not for sport.
He put it on the wall. Come back here. And he puts it down and he comes back and he's very happy about that. He seems he's like, yeah. Anyway, and Moshishi shoots at it a couple of times. Blam! It's like stupidly loud. And the knockback, the kick of the gun surprises him the first time. And he's like, oh, I think I understand. Okay. This is like it's pushing against you as it's going out. Right?
Yes.
Interesting. And he'll shoot a few. He doesn't hit it, not even once. But he uses up all the bullets and he hands it back to whoever it originally came from. And he goes, that's very interesting. Oh, God, the stink. Oh, this is horrible. No wonder you people smell so bad. Oh. All right. This has been very educational. Thank you very much.
No problem.
Oh, I have to go take a bath. Thank you. You have a good day. And he heads off. And his helper, Hyjin, bows and says, you have been blessed by the presence, and he gives the whole long spiel, Moshishi! And he leaves and he follows the other guy. And there you go. There's that. All right. So you guys head back to Tranquility?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before we go, I'm going to spend a lot of time mimicking the shapes of those I see specific people. Not intentionally trying to. I don't want them necessarily to know that I can do this. So like study them and then go change and then cause a little mischief.
Like surreptitiously?
Yep. Nothing big, just for fun. See if I can really do it. See if I can really fake it.
All right. Yeah, sure. If you want to.
More or less for practice with shape shifting and in other people, like specific people.
Okay. Make a presence manipulation roll. I'll tell you how successful you were.
I have that. I hope I have that. Something I would have. I do. Excuse me.
What about powers?
Only a 6.
Total?
Yep.
Wow. That's
Rolled
not
low.
great.
Nope, rolled low.
You rolled low.
I am shapeshifted, however. What that would help.
Well, you're actually rolling against somebody else's perception reason roll to see through it.
Right. See if they would know that person would act that way.
Or just that there's something off about you. But the thing is, you rolled 6.
Right.
So with your presence plus your roll, you got a 6?
Yes.
Oh,
Roll
wow.
two
Yeah.
twos and then +2. So there you go.
All right. Well, they rolled a 6 right off the bat without even using their reason. So they definitely, you walk up and they glance at you and you pick up something like, I don't know, it's like a person who, it's a street vendor who sells dumplings.
Uh-oh, we lost
And
you. We're not
what?
hearing you.
What?
Yeah, well, I'm hearing him.
I'm hearing him.
Who?
I'm not hearing people.
Ooh,
Me?
Uh-oh. Sounds like Leslie's not hearing us.
here, Brandon.
Leslie.
Yep, there we go.
Leslie.
Okay. You can hear us now?
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay.
Go on.
Street vendor sells dumplings, and it's a lady, and from time to time she will get a pack of dumplings and she will take them somewhere and then come back, and her cart or tray rather is empty of dumplings, and she fills it up again and she leaves again. So you walk up and you get some dumplings, and at first the person who's there who's like making the dumplings thinks you're that person, but as you're filling up a tray, they look up at you and they go, "Wait a minute," in ancient Chinese. Who are you? And what do you
Bye.
do?
I walk away and shape it back into something else. That didn't work.
They run down the street after you and don't see you anymore, and like they literally like run right past you and then stop and look around. Are you still holding the dumplings?
No, I would have dropped them off somewhere after I run around the corner.
Okay. They look, oh, they rolled really well in the perception. They look around, they see the tray of dumplings, and they pick it up, and they look around, and they look past you like they don't even see you because you're not who they're looking for. And they, like, go back to their shop. It's like, what the hell, man? That was still,
I'm going to have to work on that a little more until I can rely on it.
yeah. Deception. That's presence deception. That's what's that about.
Yeah.
Oh, you said manipulation. I do have deception, but
Oh, wait, did I say, I'm sorry.
You
I'm
said
sorry, hang on, let me,
Yeah, I said manipulation.
I said manipulation and it should have been deception. I
So something I
misspoke.
actually have expertise in.
And is it plus power on that?
Yes, it would have been presence plus power. You are correct.
Presence. Why plus power?
It would have been presence plus power, and it would have been deception. So you probably would have rolled like double what you said you rolled.
Is
But
that because
we're just going to flow with it because I thought that was entertaining.
That's fine. For whatever reason, it didn't do well, and got to do better next time. Moving
Okay,
on.
well, you learn things. Next time, I'm sure you'll roll twice as good. Oh, because I screwed that up so badly, take a plot point. Oh, I've been meaning to point this out every game, and I always forget. You start the game with one plot point, which basically gives you a bonus or a retcon or a cheat or something.
You said
Okay?
game, you mean the session, right?
Hmm?
You said game, you mean the session, right? Each night we have a plot point.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
From the
Okay.
time we start until the time we end that evening.
Yep.
You have a plot point.
Yep.
You, Craig, have 2.
Yay!
Anybody who bought cybernetics also has 2. Is that in this game? Did I put that in this game? I might Might
Yeah,
not
you
have.
did.
Did I? Okay. It's basically just you explain your plot point by, oh yes, I snuck a sandwich into my cybernetic leg.
Yeah. So I did have a question though about the power. Why was I adding? Why should I have added power to that role?
Well, because shapeshifting is power,
Okay, because
and
shapeshifting.
that's basically how all the powers. If you needed to make a skill roll to use a power, you add your power level to it. That's basically just across the board how that
Oh,
works.
okay. I didn't know. Okay, I guess I didn't read the rules carefully enough. Got it.
I don't think I spelled it out exactly. I mean,
Mm,
it does say under shapeshifting,
yeah.
deception, presence plus power level. It does say that,
Yeah,
but
like,
that it's a standard game mechanic that to make a skill roll to use a power that you add power level to the roll. I don't really spell that out. It's just that's just how it works most of the time.
Okay.
yeah, like
Let's
for
do that. Okay.
blast. In effect, blast is a ranged weapon of a PL of your power level.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And if you use like Kiera's character is using her blast with her bow and arrow, so it's the bow and arrow's power level plus her agility
No.
plus her roll plus her power.
No.
For the
Okay.
blast.
No. That's not how that works.
You don't get the bow and arrow bonus as well.
Right. They don't stack.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I was able to pin a guy to a tree several feet off the ground with an arrow.
Well, I assumed you
Yeah.
were able to do that because they stacked, but
No,
apparently
they don't stack.
and you just rolled
No, it's
really
one or the other. Like
Okay.
Okay.
So I am
Let's-
reading it now, and I just on a shapeshifting. I do see that. Although I have a question about the power thing. 'Cause most other powers, or sorry, most other powers talk about adding your power score to them to give
Yeah.
some effect. In this case, it only talks about skills.
what's your question?
So yeah, for example, if you have shrinking, just the next skill down, your power greatly affects how much shrinking you actually can do.
Oh,
It doesn't appear to be that way with shapeshifting, except
That's correct.
The skill bit.
yeah, that's correct. Shapeshifting doesn't have the sliding scale of effect that shrinking does.
Right.
Shapeshifting, if you buy it, boom, you can do it. And how the power level comes in is how convincing you are
Yeah,
at
I see that.
copying things.
Yep, I see
Yeah.
that.
Second paragraph of the shapeshifting
Oh yeah, no, I'm looking right at it. I see that now. I didn't see that last time I went through it.
against the shapeshifting character's deception, presence plus power.
Right. So if no one actually is looking at you all that closely,
Yep.
whether you've got power level 10 or power level 1, you can shapeshift into the same stuff. It's just that if someone's looking at it closely, how good your mimicry is
Right.
depends on how high, in part, how high your power level is. So,
Got it. Okay.
as far as like blast and strike and other things like that, like let's say John Erlang has
Mhm.
what's it called, Lloyd?
Lady Ashwand.
Lady Ashwand, right? The power, the character's power level stat is what Lady Ashwand adds to his close combat rolls. Brawn plus his power level. That's Lady Ashwand. If he were just some Joe Schmo with the hunting knife, it's not a power, it's just a hunting knife, so it's 1.
Right.
So
Okay.
you don't get both. It's one or the other.
Sure. Yep. That makes sense. Cool.
Right then. So back to Tranquility. Yay. You get back, nothing has. Man, I sound really loud again. This is driving me nuts. 64. Why'd it go to 64? It was 50.
Because of the George Burns song.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. That is driving me nuts.
Ooh, 64. That's a binary. That's a primary.
No, something in the background is like auto adjusting my volume, and it's driving me fucking crazy. Why? All right, just have to check it like every freaking 10 minutes. Go back to Tranquility. Go back to Tranquility. The town's still there. Hasn't burned down. Yay. It occurs to you, anybody with survival and any kind of tactics, survival's a skill it falls under, but just because you have that doesn't mean you have tactics. But
Yeah.
if you do, you'll realize Wangguo has a lot more people and a hell of a lot more soldiers who have mostly spears and some crossbows and then some bows and then some they're swords, but they're like a little bit longer than a gladius, longer than the sword that Marcus carries, but they're not like King Arthur long swords. So
Right.
but anyway, they've got a shitload of soldiers, and but Wonko does not have a wall around it the way Tranquility does. And also Tranquility has an actual wall around it, whereas Wonguo's now it's at 80. I don't know why it's changing. I'm just gonna leave it open. And I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch it change. So, yeah, Tranquility has an actual wall and it has a much smaller defending force, but they have guns. So
Possibly soon to have powered Gatlings. It's not that much of a stretch. Once you have power stretched out through the town, it's not that much of a stretch to hook a stator coil up to the crank of a Gatling and build yourself a minigun.
okay.
But better make sure that we continue to have the raw materials to make the bullets.
Yeah.
What were those
Wow.
R2D2 things they have on?
70s they had Vulcan machine guns. They just didn't know it yet.
Phalanx, Brandon.
Phalanx.
You actually have the Sea Whiz mounts on ships. They're point defense. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's what they're called nowadays.
CIWS is what they're.
CIWS.
Yeah. It's also a point defense system, but yeah, it can be used offensively, but it's tricky.
Back when Lloyd and I first started playing Champions superhero games together, Phalanx was what
Yes.
that thing was called. Nowadays it's CIWS.
Well, yeah. So Sea Whiz is like is a version of Phalanx. Phalanx is like again just like a point defense. The last ditch before.
Yeah, and I
But it's crazy impressive.
Yeah, I believe they're
yeah.
built on the Aegis platform.
So that's not necessarily no. It's on most every Navy ship. You usually have NATO, you'll have sometimes have RAM, which are little missiles, and sometimes you'll have a mix of all of them, and you'll also have Sea Whiz.
The Aegis Unified Fire Control System.
Where I was going with this, before we don't let's just pull back from this a little bit. Where I was going with this is I'm picturing big brass and cast iron R2D2 looking things with Gatling guns.
I really want to answer his question. I really do need to answer that. Sorry, that was my last ship in the Navy. It was the best ship I was ever on. It was a guided missile destroyer. It was the real Navy. But Aegis has to do with spy radars and the VLS vertical launch system and a couple other systems integrated together. That's really what Aegis is. It doesn't have that much to do with Sea Whiz.
Really?
Also, the Combat Information Center and how it's all set up.
Okay, they must have phased out that section because I remember it from like the early 80s, like 81, 82.
Gotcha.
She worked at the Applied Physics Lab at Aberdeen.
Oh wow, cool, yeah.
She was a secretary, but it was still cool.
the phased array radar, Spy 1 radar is the coolest part of it.
Yeah.
You can interlink with other local. It's amazing.
I like how they can do the time on target work.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Anyway, okay, Brandon.
Sorry. Okay, I'm done. Everyone else gets their guns and stuff aside. That's my main thing. That was how systems offered to watch, and that was just fucking awesome. It was so cool.
Craig, just out of curiosity, where do you live, by the way?
Kansas.
So you're 3 hours behind us, 2 hours behind us?
1 hour Central Time.
1 hour. I noticed you still got light. We're starting to lose hours.
Yeah, it's starting to go down though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but then again, my mom and dad still have light, and they're actually east of us.
Well, there's light in the sky.
Way north. They headed out of Bedak and headed north today. So
There's
Yeah.
light in the sky here, but it's if you look out the window, it's dark, and it's still changing. It just what the fuck? I'm watching it go 50, 51, 52, 58, 52.
So do
Wait.
you mark these as explicit when you put them on YouTube? I mean, geez, dude.
yeah, Brandon,
I'm sorry.
You understand that? I don't care. I'm wondering if the kids out there.
I'm cursing like a
The
sailor.
kids might watch this.
Brandon, do you have like a Nintendo Switch hooked up or something with the Joy-Con drift?
I don't know what's.
I figure it's just a graphic equalizer, and it's just registering that the volume.
Let's see.
See, I'm imagining that
G930.
Brandon has like a second wireless mouse that has somehow hooked up to his system, and it's just like shifting under some paperwork, and happens to be tagged on that or something
Oh.
stupid.
Trackpad, you don't realize?
Yeah, some kind of maybe one of your keyboard's macros thinks you're still playing games. I don't know.
No, it's just cat.
Is that cheating Star Wars The Old Republic? Is what it is.
Mm-hmm. It's not Old Republic.
No.
Oh, I didn't cry. I'm sorry.
Remind me of my game I
I
lost.
played Portal for a while also, and I agree. I liked it.
Well, I genuinely don't know what's causing it to do this. Man. Another thing I need to figure out. Right. You get back to Tranquility. They're happy to see you, but you're not returning, victorious from some big adventure, so they just kind of like say hi. So
Good, do it by me.
Yeah, get back to work on the truck and the train and the water purification and you start building a shipyard, I guess.
How about we concentrate on one thing and do that first, and then move to the next thing?
It's pretty much built into his character that he doesn't concentrate on anything.
all right, hey Donald, pick something. What do you want to be done first?
Water supply.
Yeah.
I figure water and power for the town.
One thing.
Water.
See, I consider them the same thing because I'm using the waste heat.
One.
Okay, water. Water.
Okay, you get back into town. You go back to the smith, the blacksmithy, and your house is just a little bit behind that, and it's 69. Is what it's on now. I'm just gonna keep changing it, and eventually it's gonna learn to stop. Stop. Oh my God, 80. Okay, this is driving me nuts.
It's like
Does it go down as well as up?
Yes, it mainly goes up, but it also goes down. The robots are happy to report, although they don't talk so much as you know what they mean. They're happy to report that the water purification system is done, and they've made tremendous strides in the water distribution system. They recommend that before they extend past about 100 meters, 200 meters or so, that they install some kind of chemical purification to preserve the water. Otherwise, there's a chance of people getting dysentery from it if you don't do that. So
yeah.
So
Also, we're probably going to have to raise a water tower.
Just thinking that. Yep.
Well, they have one of the little robots. It'll walk over to a pressure tank, which is essentially it's like a teeny tiny water tower.
Okay.
That essentially evens out the as it's pumping, it evens out the pressure of the outflowing water, so that when someone turns on a tap, it doesn't go ka-choosh, ka-choosh, ka-choosh. It goes.
Yeah,
so it's
that's
just like
an accumulator.
There was probably a water tower for the locomotive if they had at least.
As a matter of fact, there was.
Maybe a tower at least.
It's been
So
10 years since any water was in it, and there's been no maintenance done on it, but there absolutely is one that
They're the
you.
build from scratch, I think.
Well,
Well-
no, it's much easier to refurbish one than it is to build one from scratch. So, yeah, absolutely.
and that's the point of contact for the biological purification, whether they decide to do it by chemical or UV.
Aye,
I
aye,
think
Captain.
always
And,
change.
And I do tell them whether you decide to do it by chemical or UV. So maybe they'll figure out something really cool for the UV. You know, like a sunlight paste, UV purifier. If I have to, I'll help them draw up plans.
oh, they are only minions. So, we could use UV. Where would we get it from?
Hmm.
The sun.
How about. May I talk? And it. Oh my, how about glass? Do you have any access to glass? Silica? If you can get silica about. And the little robots all talk to each other. 75 tons of silica.
And
Is there a beach nearby?
Yeah, I'm looking around at the desert. Is this
Oddly enough, the desert you're in is actually more clay than silica.
okay?
Um, what are the beaches in Hawaii made of? That like black sand. That's not sand.
That's basalt.
It's volcanic, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
volcanic.
That's igneous sand rather than silica.
Where the hell does sand come from anyway? Originally,
Rocks being beat by
yeah,
the water.
When the sun was first forming, it gave off several heavy metals. One of them was silica, and that's kind of where it all came from.
I was thinking something in between.
Oh,
A hard, unreactive, colorless compound which occurs as the mineral quartz and is as a principal constituent of sandstone and other rocks.
Yeah.
Sandstone.
Rocks ground down by water.
You know, there's probably sandstone around here somewhere. Okay, we'll get on it. The robots all talk to each other for a while. Oh, hey, about that power thing, the thermal transferal power generation thing you're talking about. They need some stuff for that, and I'll leave it up to you to tell you what it is they need. But they need something.
okay. I will go ahead and start inventing on that something. In fact,
There you go.
it's
So he's gonna be busy for a while.
it's probably going to be like a flywheel
Um,
system or something.
I think until the next adventure, I'm probably alternating between doing blacksmithing stuff and letting Georgie teach me how to play piano. Just for shits and giggles.
Oh, funny you should mention Georgie. And it's also funny you should mention the whole water purification thing.
Yeah, and by the way, I do, now that we have the pure water, purified drinking water, I let people know that they can fill up here instead of going up to the out to the well.
Well, you have a couple of people who just don't like anything new. So they go out to the well anyway. Which is how you find out that there's now like 24 of these dread guards around the well. And the people who come back from the well, and you learn from this because they like come to the blacksmith shop. Actually, the locomotive is parked not too far from the blacksmith shop, and the water tower is where the locomotive can get to it. So it's like next to the train track. So it's all kind of next to each other. So you have this line of people coming to fill up their water jugs and whatever, and they're extremely grateful because this water tastes better than the water from the well, because water from the well tastes kind of like rotten eggs. So sulfur. Yeah.
Yeah.
So so your water tastes much better. So it's a huge improvement in several ways. But a couple of people come in and they say that they were resistant because, hell, if they were going to drink locomotive water, that's just disgusting. But, well, because that's the kind of mindset some percentage of people wind up having. And but they're like, well, they got no choice because they went out to the well, but it's got those guys in the black armor around it, like the Black Knights. People start calling them the Black Knights, and there's got to be 24 of them. And we shot at a couple, but then they started coming after us, so we ran away. So now we're here,
Are
and
they bunched up or spread out?
like in a line, like this, like you ever play checkers? It's like rows of checkers. Well, except that they're guys in black armor with swords and shields, like King Arthur, that kind of thing.
John, what do you think about strafing?
Actually, I was about to give you a lesson in the military on force multiplication. What we need here is a big bomb.
Mm-hmm.
But that might destroy the well.
I can handle one big boom.
Well, that's probably a good place to start. I'll clean up anything that's left. And besides that, I wouldn't worry too much about destroying the well. It's a big hole in the ground.
True,
Yeah.
yeah.
We can always make another one of those.
Or clear out this one. Just gotta.
No, I plan to make a hole in the ground.
Yeah.
Well, ideally, you want one that you can get clean water out of.
Because if I pack a whole bunch of gunpowder into a really stupid bot and use him for the blast, I get an explosive blast.
Yeah, I can see that.
6 different robots all point at one robot, and that robot like looks around like, what? Is something on me? So is my antenna crooked? Oh, another thing that happens is we're just throwing shit in and see what sticks. A couple of monks from the Buddhist monastery come by.
Oh, okay.
They don't have jugs; they have like small cups, and they fill up their little small cups with water, and they all say something in, appropriate, some kind of Buddhist toast, and they sip it. They nod to each other. Okay. And who here can speak 16th century Japanese?
Even that time and
I know John Erlang can.
Uh-huh.
Oh, and I think Captain Harrows he started learning it too, so he's on board. So at least you two guys, they'll explain. They just want to see. They heard about your water, and that you used your arts to purify the salty water of the sea, and they just wanted to see if it tasted as good as their water. And it does. They all agree that it does. You have excellent water. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
You ever need water? Come on by.
Oh no, we have all the water
They
we
have
need.
their own well.
Yeah, we have springs. So
Yeah, their springs came with them when they stormed in.
Mm-hmm.
If forbid there should be a fire, we should need all the water that is available.
oh, well, you're welcome to any that you want. We've tried explaining that, but no one seems interested. We think it's because they don't understand what we're saying to them.
Distinct possibility.
And we've tried, miming. He says whatever the Japanese word for miming is, but it's, we tried but people just think we want alcohol and they keep sending us to the tavern. So it's actually very nice meeting other people who speak our language, because we can actually communicate with you and be part of the community that we find ourselves in, because part of our ethos is to be useful to our community.
Oh, okay.
So if you can think of ways we can do that, we would happy to be doing that.
Yes, we would be glad to pass on any messages you have.
Right.
And
we'll
I'll
let people know you have water.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and give them a quick rundown of administrator, law enforcement, defense, provides food and beverage, and the entertainment over at the Bittersweet.
Okay. Well,
Just so that they have a rundown of who does what, so that they don't.
well, they still don't understand what we say, so we'd need one of you to translate.
Yes, but it is sometimes important to know who you wish to ask before you decide what it is you will ask them.
You're very wise. We don't know if our water will work with your arts as you have here. If you'd like to see them, we can show you, and you're welcome to. I mean, as long as there's still enough for the monastery, we're welcome to share.
Yeah. Well, what this does is this takes the bad water and squeezes the bad so that there is a little bit of good. And then
In other words, it gets distilled.
and
like
then
that.
it siphons off the good and sends the bad back to the sea. It does this many, many times very quickly.
Well, that's an impressive accomplishment, and I'm sure you should be very happy about it.
If your water were added to this, I am sure it would take a great deal of your water to improve it at all, for your water is already very clean and pure.
That's true, it is.
The more pure the water that you start with, the more you have to throw away to get something extra pure out of that.
Well, that sounds very wasteful. We wouldn't want anything to be wasted.
Yes, this is why I tell you this, so that we do not make any mistakes out of our
Okay.
knowledge.
Well, should you ever want to, if it should ever be important to you to come and see what we have, we'd be happy to show you.
Yes.
All right. Well, until then, congratulations on your devices. It's very impressive. And they go back to their monastery.
Okay, so what are we doing? What are we doing to go beat up the Death Knights or whatever they're called?
Yeah.
You realize you don't actually have to.
Yeah,
I mean, you don't need the well anymore. The well's like 5 miles out of town, and you don't really need it anymore. So.
Very true.
Yeah, but the more we blow up now, the more annoyed the hag will be with us, and there is some value in that, I think.
So, have we determined that the Death Knights are actually from the hag?
I'm just going to say, maybe there's another adversary we need to know about.
I'm saying for now, let's leave them alone.
If we can develop a good way of knocking them over before we get there, then she sends out the troops and we sweep.
Anyway, Brandon, I'll fly out there just to reconnoiter and see what's going on with the Death Knights.
Okay, you've got 24 of these guys, and they are lined up just like it's odd. It's eerie because the way the guy described it is like checkers. It's just like 2 rows of checkers, and they are in between the well and Tranquility, facing Tranquility. So it's hard to misunderstand what their purpose is. And there's 24 of these guys, and in front of them there's 1 of these guys.
That's new.
Oh, he's even uglier than the other ones.
And it's like black smoke is seeping out of the cracks in the armor.
We are probably going to eventually have to deal with them, because
that's what you're looking at there.
If their idea was to prevent the Tranquility from getting water, and when they realize that Tranquility is not coming to get the water anymore,
they're going to
might be an invasion plan.
Yeah, they're going to start marching forward.
Well, Or we
attacking.
can surveil the well and see if somebody comes to collect water for somebody else.
Hmm.
See, that's why they're protecting the well.
Yeah.
Monks. Just I forgot to share that with you. Monks. That's basically what they look like.
It also could be that they'll go after another resource, like the peaches or something.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, I figure we ought to keep their interest here. If you can fly me over into a decent range of say 200 meters or so,
Oh, easy.
I can drop a nice 10-meter radius on them.
Why don't we leave it alone and surveil them?
Yeah, I like the idea of
We can always
surveilling them
report
and
them later.
see what they're up to.
Yeah,
I have a terrible suspicion that they're just going to stand there until we go out there and beat them up. They're zombies. I mean, they're programmed.
They may be there so somebody behind them can gather the water and take it someplace else. We can find out if we're dealing with.
That's what I want to know, is if there's somebody else gathering the water.
So I'll volunteer for that. I'll go invisible and kind of just hang out around there for a while.
Okay,
okay.
I'll find something else to do until I get bored and go beat the crap out of them.
I'll put a board on.
Okay, so Isco goes invisibly out. Does somebody drop? Does Erlang you drop him off like half a kilometer away to save him a half day's trip?
Yes, I'll fly him out there, drop him off behind the guys so that he's actually nearer the well than the
Sneaky.
knights.
Yeah.
And then actually I'll fly back. The guy that's got the smoke coming out of him, I want to see if he'll actually talk. So land near the guy and see what happens.
Uh-oh.
The guys who were the Dread Guard, I'm gonna call them the Dread Guard. People in town don't call them that, but the people who they work for call them that. So anyway, the Dread Guard behind this smoking, oozing one don't notice or respond to you landing, but the Dread Guard commander, the helmet swivels and aims at you when you land.
Can we talk, or is this just going to devolve into gunfire and screaming?
You ask him? Is that what
Yes.
you're doing? Okay, just checking. I want to make sure you're talking to it and not me. There is like a hollow, echoey sort of voice from inside the armor that says, "Surrender the thinking machine." But it's much spookier than I'm making it sound.
There we go. That's pretty clear.
There it is. Surrender the thinking machine. Something like that.
I don't need to hang out then.
Just out of curiosity, what happens if we don't?
It doesn't want to be surrendered.
Let me think. Because this actually has intelligence. It's not like the things behind it, which don't. So let me see. Oh, I rolled a really, really, really low number. So does that mean I just come out and tell you? Or does that mean... I think that would mean I just come out and tell you. All will die.
Really?
Because it's not bright and it's not subtle. So from its point of view, that is the answer.
Okay. Let me get back to you on that.
We will wait.
All right.
And you think that's literally true.
Yeah.
You have a feeling that if whoever commands these things doesn't tell them to do anything else, they will still be here 100 years from now.
You know, interestingly enough, it's beginning to look like we're going to have to go after the hag. Nothing else than to let the piano be a piano.
That was the conclusion. It was just whether we were going to take our time or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fly back to where I dropped off Isco. I don't know where he is because he's invisible.
I'm not in the same spot, basically. I see you fly back over.
Oh, okay. And I'll mention to him, well, I'm pretty sure we know where they came from now because I just talked to the leader.
Yeah. And said.
And I'll give him the gist of what the conversation was. Okay, let's go real complex.
We're gonna hang out here in the wilderness then. Let's go back. Let's figure it out.
Yeah, so I'm reasonably certain we're just gonna have to beat the crap out of these things.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm down for that.
Poor things.
All right, so go back and let everybody know that the Dread Guard are waiting for the thinking machine. And if we don't give the thinking machine to them, then everybody will die.
Well, that's not going to happen.
No.
I think I like the idea of beating these things up. Then,
Okay. Well,
if nothing else, because the poor piano just wants to be a piano.
I said my only worry is that somehow how badly we beat them up is going to get back, and then our enemies will know more about us.
Yeah, we could probably try to figure out a way to not make it look easy for us, and then just show our full hand later.
Well, they're not going anywhere. If you want, I can experiment around. I'll just, fly over and drop bombs on them until they're nothing but smoking boots in the ground.
See that?
They're going to run away.
See, yeah, that's kind of the opposite of what I'm saying here.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, if we just go ahead and beat the crap out of the Hag now,
yeah,
while her troops are here.
I don't think these are all her troops, though.
I'm sure they're not.
Well, no, or do we use these guys as practice and hope that they don't communicate back while they're dying?
I just don't like the idea of leaving what are essentially 13 killing machines this close to a town full of squishy innocent people.
Yeah. They are mostly innocent.
You're right. You're right. Let's blow them up.
I like this plan. Let's blow them up.
Okay. In which case, Brendan, it is my intention to go out there and beat the crap out of as many of them as I can.
Yeah. Is there a way to get me a kind of an elevated shot at the bunch of them?
Yeah, you can carry him.
I can carry you up and leave you in a tree, man.
There aren't any trees. It's.
Yeah. Okay. It's just flat scrub. And flying along.
They're like those tumbleweeds kind of looking bushes, but there's no trees.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so what we could do is we set up our perimeter, and then you fly me up, and I take a starting shot to take out try and take out the leader and the bulk of them, and then you fly me down and with everybody else go ahead and rush the rest on the wings. Sound good?
Okay, sounds good to me. Yeah, you do your own flying anyway, don't you?
It's kind of a one-off thing. I kind of burned out that bot.
Oh, okay.
I got to build another one. Kind of like I'm about to burn out another bot.
Okay, so what do you do? And does anybody else go with them? Because it's more fun if it's a party.
Yeah, we'll see how good our other weapons are against these things.
Yeah, I just figure a good explosive blast shot to set things off. It's gonna be a start.
Let me double check how my explosion rules work.
I believe it's everyone in 10 meters.
Yeah, that's the standard. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think you just pick what your center is, and then you roll once against everybody, and then everybody individually normally rolls against that.
Yes.
Although if the GM's feeling lazy, they can roll once for a group of very similar people. Although, given that this is just one big group of very similar people, I think it would be very dull if they were either all destroyed or all lived. So I'm going to roll for each of them. But I can do that because I've got a computer program that'll make it easy. So
you can do that too because you're the game master.
That too. I have that power. Roll.
You could just come ahead and say, after all the dice rolling is done, say, nope, none of them are damaged. You all die.
I can actually set. Damn! Wow, this is just. I'm just gonna have to fix this later. I can set roll 2d6 25 times and just click a button and it just all
Oh,
shows up.
there you go.
But I'm not gonna do it yet because I want it to be a surprise to me.
Okay.
All right.
yeah,
So what is everybody? So what are you doing? Let's go left to right. Craig, what you doing?
So I'll be invisible and ready to attack after the blast.
Attack who? Anybody particular?
I'll go for the boss if he's still up, and then the other ones if not.
All right. And Captain Harrows, what you doing?
I plan to launch this first attack and then get dropped off as hopefully safely on terra firma. And then I will be basically doing range support from that point.
Let me double
Can
check.
I ask everybody a question real quick?
Absolutely.
I came home with a very bad sinus headache, and these headphones are hurting my head really bad. If I'm not wearing my microphone, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you right now. Yeah.
Okay, then I'm gonna spend the rest of the night with
I
can hear you.
Hey Leslie,
Yeah?
I don't think you're using your microphone.
Oh,
I don't
I
think,
think-
they're headphone microphones. I think
Same.
Yeah, I think you're using the microphone on your laptop.
okay, because I'm gonna ditch the headphones. They're really hurting my head.
Wait, can you hear us? How do you hear us?
I'm hearing just fine.
okay.
How?
Yeah.
Through your head?
I
Is
want
it?
to find out. I unplugged the headset.
Yeah, it doesn't care how it's
Yeah,
working.
you weren't using your microphone at all anyway.
You've
Okay.
got a little bit more like reverb than we're used to, but I'm willing to put up with it.
Yeah, because it's making my headache worse right now.
Yeah.
We wouldn't want that. So awesome. So got blast. Oh, you can do explosive blast because you have blast outside of your ultra power. So you're golden. Awesome. Dr. Anna, what you doing? What's your plan?
I am gonna go ahead and also get up high for now and see what my arrow blast can do to these things first and before.
Okay, it's
Oh, right, no,
basically
stop.
Yeah,
flat, so there's not really a high ground to get
Yeah.
on.
only one of us can do high ground, and that's only because he's flying me up, so I can drop
Oh
him.
well, okay, fine. I'll just get a good sight on them and see if I and see what happens.
There's stuff you can hide behind. I
Yeah.
mean, it's all like scrub and bushes and things, but there's stuff you can hide behind.
Yeah.
So it's like that. All right, cool beans. And then Michael, what's your plan?
My plan is to wait, because I'm gonna play with the telekinesis. I'm gonna wait for somebody to make the first attack, and then I'm gonna see if I have enough telekinesis to pick one of these things up and throw it against another one.
All right. I will give you this for free.
Yeah.
Because wait, have you actually? No, you haven't been around the Dread Guard before, because that was John Erlang and a couple of other people. So,
Yeah.
what?
I said, yeah. I have not been around them.
Then I'm not going to give you something for free. All right, you're going to try your.
That's why I said this is an experiment. That's why I'm waiting for the initial attack.
We shall find out. What is that? Is that a cat tail?
Yes.
Oh.
Only a cattail. No.
All right.
Snake.
All right. And John Erlang, your plan is to pick up John Harrows and do Death from Above. Is that your deal?
That's correct.
And after that,
Drop
what's
him
your?
off on terra firma and then go hand to hand and beat the crap out of it.
Well, all right then. Okay, so dun 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 dun, and you guys go out there in your various speeds and you regroup, and then I guess we will be starting with Captain Harrows. Do your thing, man.
6 and a 5 plus a 3 plus a 4 comes up to 18.
Holy moly!
Jeez.
Well, I will roll against that
You
25 times. Let's see. Nope. 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 Nope.
I was going to
nope,
say, can any of them do a
Nope.
plus
Nope.
6?
Nope. 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 Nope.
Can Brandon,
Nope.
just
Nope.
stop. Can any of them do a plus 6?
Nope. Nope.
Just let the man roll his dice.
Nope. Ooh, double sixes.
Still not enough, huh?
Nope. 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 Okay. So, Captain Harrows gets his crazy World War II mine-looking bomb with a great big clock face on it that you got out of the pile of crap you got from Barthen's Provisions, and you set the alarm clock and you push the button and it goes, and you toss it, and it bounces a couple of times and lands in the middle of these guys, and the Dread Guard around it, like all kind of look at it, and then it's like pieces of black armor just fly everywhere.
Basically dropping it between the guard and the leader, you know? Just like punk.
How many are still standing?
After that, no one's standing. There's like tremendous amounts of smoke and just bits of pieces of black armor everywhere. It's like a pauldron here. There's a helmet bouncing across the ground over there. There's bones everywhere because there's inside the black armor is skeletons. So it's just smoke everywhere. So people on the ground, your vision of what's going on is obscured.
Just one away from the rest of us.
Let's see. Who has... Anybody have unusual senses?
Hyper acuity. Oh, and line fighting.
That'll work. Anybody else?
I'm looking.
I only have perfect recall, so I'll remember where everything was.
Well, that's
Yeah.
handy.
Yeah, but it's kind of moved since then.
Yeah.
Nope, doesn't look like it.
All right. As John Erling goes to set Captain Harrows down at a safe distance, looking through with your third eye, you see the I'm calling them Blackguard over here. The Dread Guard commander.
Pirate Roberts.
The Dread Guard commander is like face down on the ground and gets up.
Well,
Stands up.
He was going to be easy to take down.
All of the other Dread Guard. He's a Dread Guard commander with no Dread Guard to command. So that's kind of sad. You should feel bad for him.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, can you imagine how that would feel? It's just sad.
Sure.
Anyway, stands up and looks around and is completely surrounded by smoke, and does not immediately see or aim its helmet visor at anybody in particular. It's just looking around. That's what John Erling sees.
It does not immediately understand what the hell just happened.
Well,
If nobody else immediately attacks it, then I'll set Captain Harrows down at a minimum safe distance, and then I'll fly into the crowd.
I've got to make my extra dice for it being surprised.
you would have gotten an extra die for it being a surprise. That's true. But we're just going to go past that for right now. All right. So John Erling leaps forward through the smoke. And does what?
Come up on the former Dread Guard captain or commander,
Who has no wheeze to command.
and attack him.
Roll some dice.
I think we should just call him the Dread Guard officer at this point.
Hey, he's still a commander. He
He's
just
One.
temporarily without people to command. He's still a commander. He earned that. And you cannot take that away.
I rolled a 10, Brandon.
Total?
Yes.
Ah, cool. You
It's a terrible
leap
roll.
forward through the I'm picturing something very cinematic as you leap/fly through the smoke, which kind of like does like swirly bits away from you as you come forward with Lady Ashwand, and you're like this close to impaling the Dreadcart Commander, and then he blocks it. So that rolled pretty well.
Okay.
Awesome. I'm gonna attack you back because you deserve it.
You've earned that right.
Double sixes, yes. Riposts and thrusts with a 15 total.
Okay. All right. What am I using to try and block this?
Close combat, and you've got the armor power, right?
Yeah, damage resistance.
So it's brawn plus your power level.
Oh, okay.
Plus 2d6.
13.
Lose 1 endurance. And he stabs forward and scrapes across your armor and like digs a little bit on one side. Ha.
Okay.
Now what's everybody else doing?
Okay.
Because other people get to do stuff too.
If we can see what's
Let's see.
going on in all the smoke, we'll
Well, thanks to John Erlang leaping through the smoke in a most dramatic fashion. Yeah, it's kind of clearing, and it's not supernatural smoke. It's just dust and shit from the explosion. So let's go left to right. Craig, Isco, what you doing?
So element form, it says standard action. That means that's the only thing I can do, or can I also attack? It should change it to my fire form.
Well, here's the thing with that.
Yeah.
That was a free action up until about a week ago.
Okay.
As was shapeshifting. And I made them standard actions because I was like, what if you could like do that and then attack and then like let's say you shapeshift into something with like massive brawn and then attack,
right?
And because it's a free action, you can do it again. And you shapeshift back into something that has like really high agility, so you're hard to hit with bullets. So I was trying to think of something to like counteract that. So I said made it a standard action, which means you can't do it in the same round that you attack. But I'm wondering if.
However, you could have done it as part of your prep. You could have been invisible in fire form.
Well, that was my intention. I didn't really state that, but that was kind of my intention. I didn't really, because I thought it was a free action. I didn't think I needed to do that.
Well, it was a free action up until a week ago. I'm totally serious about that. So,
well, what
do you guys think? Is that should it take you like your action on a round?
Yeah, constantly switch. However,
okay, I've got a solution. I've got a solution. For
Wait, Donald, hold up 1 second, because Craig actually has the power, so I want to hear his input, and then I'll listen to what you're saying.
I agree with you saying the free action thing makes it way too. Yeah, you could do like way too many things with it. Way too. That sounds just crazy. However, standard action is too limiting, so something in between needs to happen.
How about a movement action? Like you can't run or fly or jump or anything, but you can change shape, but then you can attack.
That actually kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, movement action. Okay, I had a different solution. It was, well, he earned an extra plot point already tonight.
Oh, that's another question. Do the plot points carry over?
No.
The extra plot point?
No.
So I have to use
go ahead and use it.
Okay.
No, the next game we play, you'll have one.
Okay, so I got to use it then. Okay, cool.
Well, you don't
No
have
problem.
to. No, you don't have to do anything.
Oh, I do.
It's almost 9:30. How many combats are you going to throw at us?
I think this might be the only one.
So my intention is to basically walk, not necessarily sneak, but walk up behind him invisibly. I would have already been in elemental form, but then I see this now as standard actions. But I would have already been in that while the bomb went off, and then basically drop invisibility and cleave him with the flaming scimitar.
Yeah, I'm gonna say the only problem I have with making it a movement action is movement actions are typically just for movement, but it really, I think, really does fit that as far as gameplay is concerned.
How about it's a free action, but only can be performed once per round?
Well, shouldn't that be the case for free actions anyway?
No,
they're free. That's the kind of the point of free actions. You could do like a dozen of
I
them.
understand what's being said is you can use it as an action so that you can change an attack, but you cannot use it again until after the other guy's attacked you.
So here's the thing with free actions. So shrinking here, and here's why it was a free action, and here's why standard action really doesn't work for me. What I wanted was you could, if you have growth and shapeshifting and element form, you could turn on all of those and
Right.
be a giant flaming tomato monster if you wanted to,
Right. But you can.
with
but
one free. I mean, all at the same time. You didn't have to like do an action for this, do an action for that, do an action for this. But
Right. But you can do each of them once per round.
I think that's a good solution. Let me write that down because I'll forget it tomorrow. Free action once per round. Thank you. I think that's a good idea, Donald. Thank you. All right, so Craig and John Erlang, Lloyd, the
So I have a
shapeshifting.
question actually about element form. I see now maybe it said this before that I gained damage resistance, but I also took damage resistance. That means I had double
It
damage
doesn't.
resistance.
It doesn't stack.
So I should not have. I should
The
get rid of the damage resistance.
the rule pretty much across the board is nothing stacks. If you
Okay.
have two things that let you add your power level, you only get it once. If you got two things that both give you damage resistance, you only get it once.
So I
So-
should get rid of the damage resistance that I also bought. Was that in there originally? The damage resistance?
I believe so.
Huh, I don't remember seeing it. Okay.
Well, here's the thing. If you're not using element form, you
Right.
still have damage resistance. If you're just walking around as Francisco,
Yeah.
you still have damage resistance.
I don't know. That makes sense though, as if you just.
Well, that's up to you, man.
right. I understand. So I'll have to rethink that part. Cool. Okay, got
Do
it.
you want to be able to have somebody stab you in the gut when you answer the door and you're not expecting to be attacked?
It's
Anybody here watch
normal
Jessica
normally.
Jones?
Well, he
Yeah.
would have. Well.
She's having sex with a guy. Somebody knocks at the door. She opens the door, and
Yeah.
some nobody stabs her and right in the spleen, apparently. Oh, spoilers. Yeah, right in the spleen, and she loses her spleen.
Okay.
So she's a superhero who can lift the back end of a car and jump to a third-story balcony. And somebody just comes up and just stabs her with an ordinary knife, and she loses her spleen. She's in the hospital for days. So
Yeah. Well, so what I figure is my damaging aura would take care of that. Although it wouldn't protect me, it would damage them. That would be always on for attacks.
really?
Yeah.
Even you're
For
just like a normal guy?
Yeah, right. I don't think damage resistance makes sense though, because that's kind of a reaction. Damage aura is kind of a reaction thing that this co-ender would react with.
Whatever works for you,
I'll-
I'm cool
again,
with.
I'll
Just
think
let me
about
know
it.
what you decide.
I'll think about it without wasting more time. Yes.
Right. So
Yeah.
where the hell were we? Oh, Isco was going to attack the Dreadguard commander, right?
That makes sense because the damaging aura is like a jailhouse reactive. Get the fuck off of me. Basically, just sets dude's hand on fire because he put his hand on his shoulder without warning him.
So somebody punches Isco, and there's a flare of fire, and the guy gets burned.
Yeah.
I might also get hurt, but whatever.
Iska's natural reaction to getting hit is to light up whatever hits him.
All right,
That makes
let's
more
move on because this is taking a while, and I'm sure everybody's getting bored. So, Isco, what you doing?
So, I was invisible as fire form, so I would have walked up behind him, deactivated invisibility, and cleaved him. I'm gonna use a plot point, however that will help me, extra dice or whatever, to cleave him with the flaming scimitar. Huge flaming scimitar.
And that's a power, right? It's blast.
Well, so when I was looking at fire form, it said something about being able to use strike with that. Whatever makes sense with the. Is that also not now there? I remember reading this before.
Hang on.
Yes. If the force or substance is appropriate, element form may also grant strike power.
Yes, which would be the flaming scimitar. Which
Exactly.
it's because it's just a special effect, right?
Right.
You have the power. What it looks like is up to you. So yeah, the whole great strike power. All right. So rewinding just a tiny bit. The way everybody looks is their normal human. They worked on a TV show
Yep.
bodies.
Yes.
right? Even John Erlang, when he powers up and he has all the armor and Lady Ashwand and all that, he looks like John Erlang with all the shit on him.
Yep.
So Francisco basically turns into the Human Torch. Here's what you could do though. The picture you gave me, I'll share it because you went to all the trouble of finding it. So, hey, kitty. So that's Iskalandar. That's the other set of memories that Francisco has.
Okay.
So I'm thinking the horns. Have you got them? When you go fire for him?
Yeah.
Awesome. I like that.
Yeah.
So he basically looks like the Francisco you've been working with for the last however many years, but now he's Human Torch looking and he has horns.
Only half season. I'm the new one on the crew, but a couple months.
Yeah.
All right. So we can actually go back to actually doing stuff.
Dude, you've got a flaming sword. That is so cool.
Yeah, he goes invisible, and the next time you see him, he's flaming Isco with the flaming sword, and he attacks the Dreadguard commander. So you roll some dice, and I'll roll some dice, and we'll see who has the better time.
All right. So what's my plot point get me? Like an extra die or what?
Well, I can do a couple of different things. Let's rewind a little bit, and I'll tell you what plot points do.
Extra dice.
I was gonna say, don't forget surprised like I did.
I know I've seen it before.
Well, yes, get an extra die because you're surprising him because he does. You might think the Dreadguard commander would have special senses, and he does, but those particular special senses don't help him see you being invisible. So,
fantastic.
Bad day for him. All right, so here's things you can do. You can get a bonus die, just easy bonus die. You can recover half your endurance. You can do a retcon. Oh, if only I had a Holocaust cloak. Well, I happen to have one right here. You can increase one of your attributes by 1. Now, most of the time, a bonus die is going to give you a better result. But if you're trying to do growth and you need to get really big to do something, well, then that adding your, making your power level 1 bigger will make you like 100 meters taller at a certain point. So that could be critical. You can get inspiration if you're like, well, we've got a mystery and Jinkies gang, I've got no fucking clue what's going on. Well, you can spend a bonus die and I'll basically give you a hint. You can do a power stunt, which makes you use...
You're not allowed to use the word jinkies and fucking at the same
Yes, you are, but only if it's that porn.
Okay, fair enough.
You can do a power stunt, which is essentially using one of your current powers in a way it wasn't intended, but that you can make sound plausible. So,
okay.
There you go.
I'm just gonna hit him with the big sword. I'm probably gonna add the extra dice. And you said
extra dice is the easy.
And I have a +1 already for
surprise.
So that's what. So I have close combat with expertise, so that would give me 4 dice.
Expertise doesn't change your number of dice. What it does is every die you roll has a minimum of 3.
I have close combat, which means I get 2 for that. I understand that.
Well, you have yes, you have 2 dice.
That's what I mean by 4.
Okay.
Right.
So it's 2 dice plus the plot point plus the surprise is 4 dice.
Right.
That's correct.
Do all of them
or higher.
If any of them,
we'll cut them in half. They cauterize it while I'm doing it.
Well, if any of them
plus power level.
If any of them roll less than 3, you re-roll it until it's at least 3.
I was going to ask that if the additional dice benefit from the expertise. That's yes.
All the dice you roll, expertise applies.
So I add what, brawn and power level as well to that?
Because it's the power.
This is gonna hurt.
Yeah.
I'm afraid that it will. Yeah.
I'm gonna cut him like straight down the middle.
You need to beat 11. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Do you roll at least 20?
26.
you cleave him in twain. From a game mechanic point of view, meta, right? The Dread Guard are minions, henchmen, which means you hit them once and they go down. That's just how they work. They're mooks. They're thugs. If you hit them, they go down. The Dread Guard commanders are actual enemy characters, and they have endurance just like you've got. Well, he had 4 endurance, and you did all of those. Actually, you did more than all of those. So, yeah. So, from behind the Dread Guard commander, a fiery form appears, and there's a big flaming sword, and then for a minute, there's this scary black smoking armor that has like a bright glowing line down the front of it, and then it just kind of goes.
And just right behind him, watch him pulling his sword, big old grin on his face. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the point where I say, "You've got a flaming sword, dude. That rocks."
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Says the guy in the golden armor with the
Still standing on a cloud.
Pretty cool too.
standing on a cloud, holding. It's like a pole arm, right? The Lady Ashwand is that a pole arm or is that a sword?
No, Lady Ashwand is a straight female style Chinese sword,
All right.
like the kind in Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
All right. So yeah, you have freed the well. Yay for you!
Yeah.
Who? Oh, Michael, you didn't even get to do your telekinesis. I really need to throw more enemies at you.
We'll experiment with it later.
I thought 24. I thought that would be enough. I wasn't expecting the bomb. I wasn't expecting the bomb. So
I assumed that you would have the 24 spaced out enough so that I'd only take out like a dozen of them or something.
Clearly they weren't expecting the bomb either. So
That's awesome.
Well then, I guess you know what you forced me to do. What you forced me to do. I didn't want to do it.
Uh-oh.
You forced me to do. I was going to do this like a couple of games from now, but no. Thanks to you guys, I have no choice. Okay, you hear a sound like kind of like a locomotive or a tornado or something coming toward you, or if you've ever lived near an airport, the sound of an airplane taking off.
Mhm. Yeah, no, we have an airport like right over there, 5 miles away.
When I was a kid, we lived.
Like about 4 blocks away.
Yeah.
Oh, 1 second. I gotta kiss Susan goodnight.
Like big international airport, yeah.
Sweet dreams, honey. I'm gonna close this door. You can do what you want. Night night, Sebastian. Bye bye. He's gonna be scratching at that door in like 10 minutes. All right, so.
Sounds about right to me. Cat.
When I was a kid, we lived near Norfolk International Airport
Really?
in a place called Robin Hood Apartments, and I remember this clearly, like crystal clear, because there are 2 main things I remembered. That one, there were June bugs the size of a quarter that you could tie a string around their necks and hold them on a string like a pet, and they'd fly around, and that was adorable.
You fly them in circles.
Yeah, not Japanese beetles, which were like a little smaller than a dime. June bugs, great big ass green beetles.
Wow.
And the other one was must have been like a whole 100 yards from the airport, because airplanes would fly over and it would be so loud you had to stop talking until they were gone because you couldn't hear each other talk. So that's what you hear, that that sound.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna use the ladies.
You gotta go, Leslie?
No, I have to use the ladies.
Oh, okay. Pause for 5 while we visit our various restrooms. And we're back from our break. Isn't that fun? All right. For future reference, it's the round one is
The shiny candy-like button.
the one on the left. The square red, I'm now looking at 2 blue vertical lines, which for pause, and the square red box, which for stop. So square red is stop. other one, the round red, that was continue recording. So now I know. Meanwhile, where? Okay, so you blew the hell out of the Dread Guard.
Plane landing.
Yeah, and bisected the commander.
You bisected the Dread Guard commander, who I had set up to be kind of like an intermediate boss level. No, you one-shotted him because yeah. Oh look, I'm OP. I just one-shotted the mid-level boss. That's fine.
So
That's
does
fine.
that one also disappear immediately?
Well, actually, none of these guys disappeared immediately.
Oh,
The Dread Guard fell to the ground in 1,000 pieces,
right.
and there's lots of dust in the air from the man. That's a big mug. So there's and there's bones everywhere. And the Dread Guard commander you bisected, and oh, this is fun. Well, I think it's fun. Inside the Dread Guard commander armor is not bones; it's black smoke. And as it falls, the black smoke rises up and coalesces, and there's kind of like a vaguely humanoid shape to it, but it's just black smoke. And then it kind of like blows away on the wind.
Taking all the Dread Guard falls, becomes eventually oozes away and disappears anyway.
Wait, what? Say it one more time?
I remember from last time that the Dread Guard turns into some kind of dust and just disappears eventually.
That is what happened last time.
Yeah.
Now, the black smoke inside the Dread Guard commander did not just dissipate. It coalesced and then kind of flew away.
Mhm.
Apparently not as effective without the armor.
Okay, but it survived and now knows what we're capable of.
That is a reasonable assumption.
You know all of what we're capable of, though.
Now the
Well, Erlang.
Yeah, no, it just knows that there was a loud boom and it got bisected.
Yeah.
Things are not as easy as they sound.
whoever you are, you're somebody. And then all the Dread Guard pieces around you, they're still like bones and bits of black armor. Oh, and then you heard the somewhere up in the sky. That's where we were. We were. Wait, look, up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. What are you guys doing? I'm kind of waiting on you at this point.
I go back to invisible again.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you, Craig.
I go back invisible again and hide behind a tree.
There are no trees.
Whatever.
There are shrubs,
Bushy,
basically.
tree-ish thingy.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to assume it's going to be annoyed at us, but you know.
What will?
I figure we're spread out enough that it's not going to be able to use explosives on us.
Okay. Do you see that? All right, then. So, looking up in the sky, and I cannot understate the loud, roaring noise this thing makes. There is something in the sky that is leaving behind it a thick, black, pitch black plume of smoke.
Might be the Hag.
And above the town of Tranquility, to the east of you, it is spelling out in the sky, surrender the machine.
All right, gotta deal with this now.
Okay, yeah. Hold on. Let's. How close does it get to us?
It's way hell and gone up in the sky. Like
Okay.
it's like a pinpoint in the sky, leaving this huge message in black smoke. You could send John Erlang up there to fight it alone,
Yeah, no. I was just wondering if I could like spend a plot point on an extra die to counteract the fact that it's out of range and yada yada yada.
It is pretty far.
Because if I can use a plot point to reduce the range by one step.
Range typically goes in units of 10. So it goes 10 meters, 100 meters,
Yeah,
1,000
yeah.
meters,
I have a
10,000 meters. So it's a what's the word for that? Geometric.
Exponential?
Geometric is the word I was looking for.
logometric.
No, it's not logarithmic. It's
Oh.
geometric. It is
Okay,
times 10.
okay.
Logarithmic goes, okay,
Oh,
geometric goes like this.
Yes.
Logarithmic goes like this.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Like that.
Okay. So, okay, so I can't like bump my medium range to a long range and take a shot at it by blowing a plot
Let's see,
point.
medium range to long range, 1,000 meters to a kilometer. Let's see. It might be within a kilometer. No. It's over the town of Tranquility. Oh, one other thing. Sorry, one more thing.
I have sharpshooters, so that doubles, so it's 2 kilometers.
It does. But Tranquility is like 5 miles away, which is like 10 kilometers.
Which is, yeah.
So it's over Tranquility. That's where the message is. And from where you're standing, it's kind of upside down. But you can still make sense of it, you know.
Oh, okay. Well, okay.
So it's very thoroughly outside your range.
Yeah.
Let's go left to right. Hang on. I just want to take the
Yep.
temperature of the room. Isco, you just bisected the Dread Commander. How you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty smug.
Are you still on fire with your horns and stuff?
I am.
Awesome.
Team, what's next? Bring it on.
The Isco picture you sent me is basically he's wearing a skirt.
Yeah.
And the rest of him is just like glorious burning manliness. Is that like your deal when you're on fire?
Yeah.
With your burning sword. Awesome.
Don't get too close because the down door might hurt you unintentionally.
Anybody standing nearby? Who would be standing nearby? Oh, John Erlang would be standing nearby, right?
Yes.
Yeah. There's like literal heat coming off this guy. It's not just cosmetic. You think if you got much closer, it would be at the point where like your hair would start to like do that little thing, like it burns and like turns to ash like hair does. So yeah, he's definitely. It's not a show. It's not just shape change. He's on fire.
Eat some marshmallows.
All right, you gonna do anything about Surrender the Machine, Isco?
I don't know if there's anything I can do. I'm just gonna wait. I'm just standing there right now. I have no idea what to do.
Well, no. That's reasonable, I think, under the circumstances.
Yeah.
All right, Captain Heroes, you just blew the piss out of like 24 Dread Guards. That's got to be worth something. Now what? What's next in your bag of tricks?
But the roaring happens and the stuff.
It is loud. Even as far up as that is, it's loud. Whoever's doing that really should be wearing earplugs because that's permanent hearing loss right there.
I sigh, point toward Crag Keep, and say, well, I guess we know where we're going next.
Yep.
Hey, Dr. Anna, what's your deal? What's up with you?
All
You
right,
cannot hit it from here with your bow. Just letting you know.
yeah.
Even with the plot point, it's too far.
Yeah, I kind of figured. Otherwise, one of those guys would have done something by now. I guess we need to head out and deal with it head on because I'm not giving them the piano
Yeah, no, Georgie's a friend. You don't betray
George is
your friends.
friend. Yeah. So
Hey.
I think we move out. We go find it.
Michael, what are you up to?
I'm not in range for anything either, so I think it's time we go kick Hag butt.
General Lang, what's your deal? What's up with you?
I'm going to fly up there and kick its ass.
You're the only one that can.
That's
You go.
That's funny.
All right, now I do have a question for you.
I would assume so.
It says here my all-out move is 7,800 meters. How does one perform an all-out move?
You go that far.
Okay. Well, the second question is, could I grab somebody on the way and continue my move?
Here's the thing with the all-out move. You
Okay.
can't attack. Well, I mean, you can, but you'll fail. Like,
Right.
attacks automatically fail. You're at, you lose a die on all your defense rolls, and sorry, not defense rolls. Your defense rolls are actually get a bonus because you're moving so fast it's hard to hit. Your skill rolls, other than attacking, you have a penalty die. So if you were doing an all-out move and trying to do archaeology, you'd roll one die instead of two. So attacks fail, normal skills minus one die, defense rolls plus one die, and you go that far.
Okay.
That's how it works.
Then I'm going to go ahead and put the hammer down and try and get as close as I can with the all-out move.
And it's what again?
7,800 meters.
That is enough to actually get up there.
Okay.
So everybody else sees John Erlang on his cloud, like give a steely glare up at the tiny shape in the sky, leaving the message, and then just
Is there like a sonic boom? Or
everybody's notice
the message.
Hey,
It-
subsonic, man.
it does
Subsonic.
well until he's far enough away to not hurt anybody, but everybody's hair goes like that direction, like Dr. Anna's hair goes
kind of the same kind of thing, kind of
like that. Yeah, Isco's flames go.
Dang.
Hey, if he thinks he can make it, so can I. I'm just as fast on land.
Yeah, but it'll still be like a mile up. So.
Ooh. Ooh.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
If you guys can move fast enough to cause a partial vacuum, I wonder if I can use a Venturi tube to harden the vacuum.
Oh, that's
So,
interesting.
wah from Captain Harrows. What does he want from you? Who knows? I don't know. Oh, I found it. I had a picture I was going to share, and I couldn't find it.
Harrows sees what someone can do and goes, "How can I use that?"
What are you doing, Captain Harrows? Are you doing something, or do we switch straight over to John Erlang, who
No,
is going to die horribly?
We're all over on the John Erlang. I would need to build something, and then I'd need him to run around it
All
real
right.
quick.
John Erlang
Yeah.
I can help you, John.
zooms away at incredible speed and actually gets up to the person. It's a person, not a thing.
Okay.
Who is actually leaving the black smoke contrail. Contrail, you guys know what contrails are. It's like what jets leave behind and have ever since jets were invented, because that's how science works. What? What are you laughing at?
Playing with the covers.
What?
Your cat.
Sebastian was up on the cat tree playing with the stuff up there.
I don't. Is he even in here? I didn't know he was in here. I thought he left.
No, and then he jumped over onto the bed under the covers.
There was a cat on the bed.
I didn't even know he was in here. All right then.
Anyways,
Are we done?
yes.
Alright, so John Erlang shoots off through the sky at impossible speeds that no normal human being could do. And he reaches the person who just finished leaving the big message in the sky, which is upside down from your point of view. It says surrender the machine. But you can still read it because, you can read. Anyway, And as he approaches, this is what you are approaching, John Erlang. Except the person driving this is dressed like Morticia Adams, like long black dress, long trailing black sleeves, black hair trailing out behind it. It's like picture Morticia Adams driving this and a huge plume of black smoke coming out the back end and this tremendous jet noise coming off of it. It is not like a speeder bike from Star Wars. It is crazy loud.
That is like the weirdest genre shock I've ever seen.
Well, apparently they have more.
Patricia Adams on a giant polluting speeder bike.
There you go. That's what you see. And to add something to this, they're going like as fast as you're going. They're going crazy fast. So, what do?
I'm gonna keep up underneath them. I can't go up, but I can go across.
You absolutely can. Yes, you
I
can.
wouldn't attack. I'd follow her home.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing left for us to do here but head home, but we're just not going to get there in much time.
You guys have a while to go before you get back to Tranquility. Do you mind if we do the Dr. Anna and John Erlang thing?
Yeah,
Because they're the only ones who can really interact with this. I don't want to like make this dull
well,
for you.
until I can get within a kilometer of it.
Okay, I'll let you know. John Erlang, what you doing?
Fly up there and like stop.
There's no stopping. There's like keeping pace.
Oh, okay. Fly up there and like get close enough to the person to actually, see if we can have a conversation or something. But it seems a little loud.
I did not think this would happen anytime soon, but I was wrong. So let me show you. Man, it is astonishing how often I'm wrong. One would think it's a normal occurrence instead of the very rare thing it should be. All right, John Erlang sees, and is probably the only person other than her own minions who have actually seen the Hag of Crag Keep. And here you go. That is the Hag of Crag Keep.
Oh yeah, she's really me as a hag. There we go.
Yeah.
On her vroom broom. So.
Vroom, vroom.
Room.
Vroom.
What?
Okay.
What?
I actually like her better knowing that she rides a vroom broom.
Yes.
She has earned some points back.
What do you mean by that? I need you to articulate why you're chuckling, because
Vroom broom, yeah.
Brandon, I'm afraid if you don't understand the humor behind something called a vroom broom, we're going to be incapable of explaining it to you.
I want
All right.
one.
Okay, so she's on her vroom broom. It's extremely loud, but she sees John Erlang. She's I gotta back up a little bit. She's like this, like she's and her hair's like Although realistically, if she was going like
That
Mach
fast?
3, like she actually is, her hair'd be pulled off her head and she'd be bald and her skin.
Her hair would be coming out.
Yeah, well, as would yours. So
Yes.
there's something going on there that prevents the full impact of the velocity there that you and she are going. She sees you. She's flying forward. You're flying next to her. She's looking at you like, that's unexpected.
I take it it's so loud here that neither one of us can actually have a conversation.
Not really, no.
Okay. In which case, I'll just take out my sword and attack the thing she's on.
Her eyes go,
The big thing that's sticking out the front, I'm going to try and lop it off like Luke with a lightsaber.
wow. All right, then. That's going to be a very bad day for her, I think, if you
What happens to the X-15 when it's traveling at Mach 5 and one of the wings falls off?
Right then.
Except
You
she
would be
doesn't
making
have
a close combat roll with your brawn plus power level, and she's going to make an agility roll to try to get away from you.
Brandon, do you
Yeah.
mind if I start her off? Because, as I said, I've got a really bad headache. I have
Oh,
it
I'm
on
sorry, Leslie. I hope you feel
That's
better.
okay.
Sorry,
It's
You
Leslie.
heading
one
out?
of those. My
After this
sinus
thing
headache.
here, we're wrapping up, so you're not
Okay.
going to miss
Yeah.
anything.
Okay.
You go to bed. Have a good night. I hope you feel
You
better.
too. I'll see you
Yeah.
guys next week.
Yep. Have a good
Okay.
night.
See you
Bye
then.
bye.
Us slow folks will just walk back home.
Yeah,
Okay.
the weather's been giving me a bit of a headache. Yesterday was bad. Today's not too bad.
Oh, really?
Oh, I'm yeah, I am barometrically sensitive. I usually can tell you when the storm's about to hit.
Ooh, freaky. Usually people with like arthritis or bursitis or something, or what's good at that?
And
Isn't that how that works?
my arthritis and bursitis are more about temperature changes, but I can smell rain.
Yeah, I, I have arthritis in my brain or something. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I can step. Maybe it's from all those years of riding a motorcycle, but I can step outside and give a sniff and tell you what the chances of precipitation are.
Crazy.
Anyway, Brandon, I rolled a 17.
Wow.
It is an
Okay,
exceeding.
well you hit it. She rolled double sixes, which I think is pretty darn impressive
Ooh.
considering. Um,
Yes.
but her agility is not sufficient to prevent you from hitting it with a 17 because holy shell, that's something. Okay, so you fly your cloud over there and you take out Lady Ashwan and you chop off one of like the guidey thingies off the front, and
Right.
she goes and like starts going woo 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 woo
Hey,
like
Brandon,
this.
I just had an idea that I've seen this combat going on, so if I have a chance, I'm going to do
It's
something.
it's way tiny up there in the sky, but yeah,
Okay.
sure, you can totally see it.
Okay. So as I see the combat going on, I pull out Edgelord's phone and I text the Black Spider and say, "Hey, if you think you're powerful enough, now's your chance to overthrow the other guy because your boss is about to bite it. Now's your chance to take charge. Either way, one of the two is going to get killed, and it's one less for us to worry about later."
That's very clever. I'll give you a bonus die on that. Do a diplomacy plus
Okay.
3 dice because that's really it's not what I want to happen, but I think that with that you'd kind of deserve that. So
You
I
said
roll
just
some dice and I did
diplomacy.
my presence and I get a 12. What do you get?
You said diplomacy. Did you say an extra dice for that? What'd you say?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So that would be 3 dice, expertise plus presence.
Fucking expertise, man. Why'd I do that? I don't know.
14.
Wow. I got 12, you got 14. Okay, so
Now your time to make the move, man. Make your move.
you don't get a response back.
That's probably a good thing.
Seymour's thinking about this. You got one success. It's not extraordinary, but you did succeed. So he's like, here, maybe so. Here, maybe it's my time to shine. Why not me for a change? Yeah. All right. Give it a thought. Give it a thought. We'll see how that goes. All right. So, Generling whacked her vroom vroom. Well, you are just. Holy crap! She's really rolling well. 11 on 2 dice. So she's like spinning, and then like regains control. She like flips a switch on the thing, and the black smoke coming out the back goes down to like just a gray smoke, and then like zooms off to the horizon.
Wave.
Gonna get you. Gonna get you. That was.
Oh man, and she's gonna come back home to the middle of the coup. If Seymour wins, they're both dead.
Yes, exactly. So either one or both are gone. Maybe more if they get involved on your side. Oh, shit.
All right then.
We thought you were dead. Who told you that? Lord.
Well, okay. That might suck then, because you may no longer believe me. Oh well.
When you get back to Tranquility, assuming you go back there eventually,
Yes.
there is widespread panic. People are like, "What is going on? What happened? Surrender the machine? What machine?" And people generally blame Captain Harrows for this because he's the one who's been doing the whole machine stuff. You there! They say, holding aloft their I don't know, what is this? A broom. It's a broom. Okay. Yeah, I can sweep the hell out of you, man. So, yeah. They're very angry at Captain Harrows because they think he's behind this whole machine thing. Who wants your machine? Just go give it to them. Give it to them. What? Why are you even waiting? Go.
Because they ran away. If they had stayed here, I would have taken them down, as I'm about to go do.
They did run away. Yeah, that sounds reasonable. What do you think? Is that sound reasonable? I don't know. What we don't we as a town do not like the idea of people leaving threatening messages in our sky, and we are unanimous in this.
I agree. We are indeed unanimous in this. And that is why I am about to go forth and correct the actions of this unsavory individual.
Oh, that sounds reasonable.
Sure
What do you
is.
think? Does that sound reasonable? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Make Tranquility great again. Yeah. You sound okay. We're all on the same side. Awesome. Great.
Nobody threatens tranquility and gets away with it.
Yeah. Let's do what Captain Harrows wants. Have you had the water? It's really good. His water doesn't taste like eggs at all. Yeah. It's like, I like to taste eggs. Oh, screw you, Bob. You don't know. Water's not supposed to taste like eggs. That's just nasty.
And
All
now
right.
I just promised that we would go do what we would plan to do tomorrow anyway.
Right then. Okay, so we're all good here, right? Right? You guys gonna settle this? You gonna figure this out? All right.
We're just going to regroup and rearm. And, you know, we had just taken out 24 of her goons. 13 to be exact, so you know she's an unsavory character.
It's actually 24. Well, 25 actually, if you include
25.
the one.
Yeah.
If you include the one Isco bisected, that's 25. Yeah.
Yeah, we just took out 25 of her goons and in an eye blank. That's probably what's got her so annoyed.
By
And
the way,
I don't know if you believe that.
giant speeder bike.
What? they
Exactly.
I don't know if Captain Harrows actually believes what he just said, but that's actually true. It's like, after you say it, I have this feeling he's talking faster than he's thinking. So he's like, oh yeah, and then after you say the thing about like, oh yeah, we knocked out 26 of our troops, and that's probably what pissed her off. And after you say it, you're like, oh shit, that's probably true.
Probably what pissed her off.
Yeah, because it was like literally minutes later, and as fast as she can go, as John Lilling can attest, and Dr. Anna can attest. Yeah, that's actually completely plausible. So.
Yeah, so it's time to arm up and, you know, get a vehicle going and head off and take her down.
Do it.
Greedy cat.
I'm ready.
Greedy cat. All right, cool. All right,
Well,
this
you
is.
decided to keep Sebastian then, have you?
When you did that.
I guess you decided to keep Sebastian then, have you?
Yeah, well, we couldn't find anybody to take him, so. And we can't just. You know, he's our responsibility. We would have to find a good home for him.
For sure.
And we haven't, therefore, this is his home. So it's just the way it works. So. Lloyd, what'd you say?
I said I kind of like the slightly disgusted look on the cat's face while you were doing it. I was like, yeah, fine.
He's biting me
You're
now.
bigger than I am. Go ahead.
You're like, okay, fine, I'll get revenge with you later.
Alrighty then. Okay, so I think this is a good place to stop. What do you think?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. I will look into this whole microphone variability thing because that's driving me crazy.
So I'm wondering if there's some app, like some mixer board app that you need to.
There's got to be
do your
something.
input and
Why? Why would it do that?
output.
Communications.
And oh
No, that's it to do nothing. All right. Well, whatever.
All right.
All right.
guys.
Well, this has been Pirates of the Mesozoic with Craig Smith, bisector of Dreadguard commanders. Donald L. Griffin, he who hurls explosive devices. Karen Torres, impaler of enemies on trees. Montgomery, pursuers of people who really shouldn't be able to be pursued because they are 2 kilometers up and flying at Mach 4. So, anyway, me, the GM Brandon Blackmore, who does not adequately plan.
They told you not to open the door.
PCs like this. So,
Groom.
have a good night.
Groom.
Vroom vroom. Do you like vroom vroom vroom?
Zoom.
Fantastic.
Vroom vroom is tops. I now need to figure out how to build a vroom vroom.
Groom.
Now that you've seen it, well, kind of.
Yeah, no. I'm thinking I need like a little 250 300cc sport bike to start with. You know, one of those kind of lay down on it.
Somebody who rides around on something called a vroom vroom is going to have a Hello Kitty skull and crossbones tattoo.
Hell yeah!
Probably not. Kieran is very sensitive, and I don't think she can sit through the session. But yes, I desperately want to build her a vroom vroom. I want her to ride a vroom vroom up to her parents' house and take them both out in entirely different ways.
I can't wait to find out the fallout from Seymour and his attempted coup.
All right, guys, I'm going to bed.
Have a good night. Thank you for coming. See you next week.
Yep.